Are you starting to get a little bored of traveling by plane or car? Always the same roads, airports, traffic jams, and delays. But what if I told you that somewhere in the world, people ride a bus that floats like a boat, or a train that looks like a spaceship? There are vehicles that defy all logic: a whale-shaped bus, a wind-powered bicycle, a bamboo airplane, and even a cable car that travels on a rope over a chasm. Sounds like science fiction? And yet, all these modes of transport actually exist, and you can ride them. Today, I'm going to take you on a journey around the world of the most unusual, craziest, and most brilliant modes of transport that prove that humans can move around in literally anything, if they just have a little imagination. The hovercraft is one of the most amazing inventions in the history of transportation. It works with powerful fans that push air under its body, making a kind of air cushion. This cushion lifts the vehicle a few inches off the ground. That means it can go over water, sand, ice, and even mud. What's it like to ride one? It feels like you're flying just above the ground. All you hear is the hum of the engines and feel gentle shakes. It's like a mix between a boat, a plane, and a magic carpet from a storybook. For example, in the UK, there's a regular passenger hovercraft service between the Isle of Wight, and it's been running since the 1960s. It's not just a tourist thing. It's a normal way to get around, with tickets, schedules, and daily trips. Hovercrafts are also popular in Russia and Scandinavia. In winter, they can glide over frozen rivers, and in summer, over water, without any changes to how they're built. It just goes to show that sometimes the most futuristic ideas from science fiction movies really do come to life. Imagine that instead of a car, your way of getting around is an elephant. In Thailand, India, or Sri Lanka, that's not as exotic as it might seem. For hundreds of years, elephants were like the real SUVs of Asia. They were used to carry goods, wood, and people through thick jungles where there were no roads or bridges. Their huge strength and ability to move through tough terrain made them super important. For many cultures, the elephant was also a symbol of power, wisdom, and good luck. In India, they are still thought of as sacred animals today. Today, you mostly see elephants in tourism. You can ride on their backs through a tropical forest, wade with them in a river, or watch their daily lives. But it's good to know that more and more places in Asia are focusing on ethical safaris. These are places where animals aren't forced to carry people, and visitors just learn about their lives and help with their care. It's not just a special experience, but also a lesson in being kind to nature. Because the true beauty of these amazing animals is best seen when they are free. Sounds like magic, right? But it's actually real. In southern India, in the state of Kerala, there's an amazing train that looks like it's floating on water. The tracks run through big lagoons and lakes, so when you look out the window, it feels like the train car is floating on the surface. A trip on this train isn't just a regular ride, it's a show put on by nature. Outside the windows, you'll see floating villages, fishermen in boats, and palm trees reflecting in the water. Everything looks so peaceful that for a moment you forget it's a train and not a cruise through a tropical land. It's an everyday way to get around for the locals, but for tourists, it's an absolute must-see. You won't find another place where steel tracks meet the blue of a lake. Imagine that instead of being stuck in traffic, you just get into a cabin and fly over the city. That's what daily life looks like for the people of La Paz, the capital of Bolivia, located in one of the steepest places in the world. This is where Mi Teleférico was built, the world's largest urban cable car system. This isn't a tourist attraction, but a full-fledged public transportation system. Instead of buses or subways, people travel through the air, from valleys to high plateaus, where the height difference can be as much as 1,000 meters. Each line has a different color and goes over homes, streets, and mountains. From the cabin, you can see all of La Paz and the majestic snow-capped peaks of the Andes, a breathtaking view. Mi Teleférico not only cuts travel time from hours to just a few minutes, but it also solved the problem of traffic jams and smog in the city. For residents, it's a symbol of modernity. For tourists, an unforgettable adventure at several thousand meters above sea level. Imagine you're driving through city streets, passing landmarks, intersections, people on sidewalks. And then, the driver turns towards the river and drives right into the water. It's not a breakdown, it's an amphibious bus, one of the most unusual ways to get around that actually exists. From the outside, it looks like a regular tour bus, but its design lets it smoothly go from pavement to waves. These kinds of vehicles operate in many cities around the world, including London, Amsterdam, Boston, Tokyo, and Singapore. So, on one trip, you can see the city from land and water without needing to get off or switch vehicles. When the bus gets close to the shore, the driver literally switches the driving mode from road to water, the propellers start, and the wheels lift slightly above the water's surface. Passengers then feel like they're on a boat, but just a few minutes earlier they were driving on city streets. It's a mix of engineering, tourism, and good fun all in one. And it's also a symbol of creative thinking and transportation. Some of these buses even have guides on board who tell the city's history as the vehicle floats between bridges and buildings. If you've ever been to Asia, you've definitely heard that special sound. That's a tuk-tuk, a three-wheeled symbol of city craziness, which has become a famous way to get around in Thailand, India, and Cambodia. These small, quick vehicles are pros at getting around traffic jams. In places like Bangkok or Delhi, they can squeeze through where a car wouldn't stand a chance. Tuk-tuk drivers know every shortcut and tiny street, and a ride in one is often more thrilling than a roller coaster. But tuk-tuks are more than just a way to travel. They're a part of the culture. Many owners make their vehicles their own. They add colorful LED lights, speakers playing local pop music, stickers from Bollywood movies, or good luck charms from Buddhism. At night, they look like little moving dance parties, sparkling and lighting up the city streets. And what's cool is that in some countries, like Sri Lanka or the Philippines, electric tuk-tuks are showing up, which are quiet and good for the environment. For travelers, it's a must-do on any trip to Asia because no other experience captures the vibe of the streets there quite like a tuk-tuk ride. In the Philippines, you can literally fly on a bicycle, and I don't mean that as a figure of speech. In places like Bohol and Laguna, amazing attractions have popped up. Bicycle railways suspended high above the jungle. Imagine this. You hop on a special bike attached to a steel cable, buckle up your safety harness, and start pedaling. Below you are hundreds of feet of open space, a sea of green, and the rustle of tropical leaves, and in front of you, a view you'll never forget. It's a mix of a zipline, a bike, and an adrenaline rush, and it's also a totally eco-friendly way to get around. You don't need an engine or electricity, just the power of your own legs and the courage to look down. The locals joke that it's the most romantic transport in the world, because many of the routes are for two people. So you can pedal as a pair, suspended between the sky and the earth. It's not just a tourist attraction, but also a symbol of the Filipinos' cleverness, who can turn any idea into something amazing. There are plenty of places in the world where getting around is all about creativity and making things up as you go. Not everywhere has highways, airplanes, or subways, so people come up with their own solutions, often using whatever materials they have handy. In Cambodia, the famous bamboo train is one of the most unusual ways to travel in the world. It's a simple bamboo cart set on old tracks, powered by a scooter engine. When two of these trains meet on the same track, one of them just gets taken apart and lifted off the rails. It's a brilliant example of how simple things can be really effective. In Vietnam and China, basket boats are popular. They're round like a bowl, woven from bamboo and covered with resin so they don't leak. They're used for fishing, moving goods, and sometimes even as water taxis. In Myanmar, in some farming areas, people get around on the backs of buffalo or in ox-drawn carts. Slow, but steady. Time moves differently there, and no one is in a hurry. All these ways of getting around show that when modern tech isn't available, human cleverness steps in. Because in the end, it doesn't matter if you're flying in a plane or riding a bamboo cart. What counts is the journey, not how you get there. Traveling doesn't just mean planes, cars, or trains. The world is full of wild ideas, amazing creations, and people who show us that imagination is the best fuel. From hovercrafts and water trains, to bamboo railways and tuk-tuks with speakers, each of these journeys is an adventure you'll remember forever. Because it's not just about where you're going, but how you get there. If you could pick one of these unusual ways to travel, which one would you want to try? A hovercraft, an elephant, or maybe a bamboo train? Let me know in the comments. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next episodes about the most interesting places and journeys on our planet. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Take care. Bye for now.